In this episode, we're going to be doing another interview with pros with my buddy Anthony here.
Works the job.
How you doing? Welcome to another edition of Making You a Bartending Pro. I'm Jason, and in this episode, we're finally going to get another episode of interviews with pros. So with me, I got my buddy Anthony, who I've been working with for how long together?
About 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
So we've got some good experience, good stories. And Anthony's been working in this industry for how long altogether?
Since I was 21, and I'm 34, so 13.
13 years. So
Ever since I was legal.
Yeah, ever since he was legal. So he's got some good stories. And again, just like to get some other insight besides mine. So cheers.
Cheers.
Bam. Yeah. So you can give a background, just intro about yourself, like whatever you want.
Yeah, so basically at the time, I had just moved back into San Diego. I went up to school, and I was living in this shitty little apartment complex, and there was this like older lady, and she'd always kind of like talk to me and whatever. She worked down at the Hyatt Islandia in Mission Beach, and one night I ended up getting drunk and sleeping with her, and she offered me a job as a bartender at the pool bar for the summer. And I had really no restaurant experience at the time, other than like I worked at La Costa Resort as like a host. No real like restaurant experience, high volume kind of stuff. And so I took the job, and my first summer I had just turned 21, so I was really lucky to even have that opportunity. I guess I banged my way into the industry.
Sleeping your way to the top is a tried and true method for success. All right, cool. So sleeping your way in is a great way to get started.
Yeah.
So what made you like start, or what like piqued your interest to? Why did you want to start bartending in the first place?
Well, I was just always kind of fascinated by it. I mean, I do like to drink and have fun and socialize, and generally speaking, like it's a good industry to where you can be in school and take care of all that, and then work at night.
Because I'm always complaining about my.
Yeah, you can have a double life. You know what I mean? It's a good way to like have side income or even your main income, and then be able to do stuff in the day if you have to go to school or have another job or whatever it may be.
Fuck off and go surf like we do.
Yeah, just be a degenerate. It's a great lifestyle. So
it lends itself to that.
I mean, I was just more just like I needed a job, and she offered me a job, so I took it. And I wasn't like thinking, hey, I want to be a bartender, but it just kind of
fell in your lap.
It just kind of snowballed from there. But,
yeah. Which is similar to my guys, to my story, as I told you guys, where I was the place that I started, or I went into the place where I started. My buddies worked there, and the manager said, "Hey, all your friends work here. When do you start working here?" And I said, "When you give me a job." And big gay Steve was sweet on me at the time, so he hooked me up. I didn't have to sleep with him, thank God, but it is an option. Okay, cool. Well, so what were some like earlier, like, or when you first started, what were some like challenges that you had to deal with learning?
This was the outdoor pool bar, so we had like one of those, I don't forget what they're called, like island style mixed. So we were making pina coladas, all the blended drinks. I didn't know any of the recipes, and it would get busy, like,
right.
And I would have to like go out to people would come up to the bar, order for me, and then I have to like walk the drinks out. So I didn't know how to run a tray. I didn't know shit really. You know what I mean?
Completely flying by the seat.
Yeah, and I worked with this older guy who was like 40. He was just a complete drunk, but he was like a good bartender.
Standard.
Yeah, which is pretty common.
Yeah.
He kind of coached me through some stuff and told me what to do.
What did you do like when people ordered drinks and like you didn't know any recipes?
It was really like pretty basic. Like, I mean, people are sitting at a pool, they're on vacation. It was like had this.
Because these guys, a lot of worries that they have is like, oh my God, what if I don't know a drink recipe? Or like, how many drink recipes do I need to memorize before I can start? How many drink recipes did you know before you started?
0.
Right. See?
I mean, besides like basic.
Yeah, rum and coke, vodka, soda.
Like, I'm sure I knew some, but like, if someone asked me what a kamikaze was, I'd be like,
You'd never studied or learned any drinks before that.
Yeah, that's the thing is, you don't need to know everything. You just need to know what's appropriate for the place you're working at. you just need to know how to do the drinks that they serve. So don't stress yourself out about,
And if you
I don't know everything. You don't need to know everything. Just know what you're serving and do good at that, and
Yeah.
you're fine.
And if you did get a Manhattan, what would you have done?
You just ask someone. It's not that hard.
Right.
Or Google it. Go in the corner so your boss doesn't see you using your
go
phone.
right, exactly. Everybody's concerned about the drinks, and so it's good for them to hear that it's not about the drinks. What about tips for these guys? They're brand new. Most of them are aware that they want to become bartenders. So what would some advice?
Well, to be honest, you're probably not going to start as a bartender. So keep your options open. You might have to start as a food runner or a bar back, and don't think you're too good for it. You can move up quick if you do a good job. Just basically work hard, and show up on time. Don't take time off. Just don't be a shithead. Basically,
don't be just total derelict.
Yeah, when people ask you to do stuff, people that have worked there, respect your managers and your owners, and don't sit around and talk. Just work. It's really. In any industry, it's the same thing, but in a restaurant, there are tricks, but it's very rare. If you have no bartending experience, you're not going to walk in somewhere and they go, "Hey, would you like to bartend here?" It makes no sense. So you're going to either have to work your way through the ranks, or you're going to have to know someone, or just get really lucky, or be a really hot chick.
Right, which we've talked about. So you mentioned some tricks. What are some of those tricks that you mean?
Yeah, I think honesty is a big thing too. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't have to broadcast it to the clientele, but ask someone who you're with. You're going to be working with people that have more experience, and they're going to be able to guide you. If you bring it up and, "Hey man, I'm sorry, I don't know how to do this. Can you show me real quick? I want to ask you again." Stuff like that, little stuff where you're not wasting time, but you want to learn, you're eager to learn, and you want to do a good job, and that is all really. People can see that from a mile away, and they're willing
Good
to
employees are hard to find, right? So
especially in a restaurant.
Especially in a restaurant. So when you can go into any position and show them you're a good worker, then you're gonna be a valuable asset right off the bat. And then from there, if you just be the squeaky wheel, like I talk about, and let them know you're interested in moving up, then
right. And another thing is about the restaurant industry is it's a high turnover. So it's maybe not good bartending positions, people don't leave right away, but hey, the barback's going to college, or this guy's going on a 2-month trip, hey, we need you to fill in, boom, then you're barbacking, next thing you know, oh, the bartender's sick, can you come in and fill in? Now you know some drink recipes, now you know how the restaurant operates, they can plug you in, and then you do a good job of that. Hey, next thing you know, 6 months later, you have 2 bar shifts.
You might have an offer, yep.
Yeah.
Again, another thing that we've talked about a bunch is getting to know, how do you get to know? Because a lot of times they'll ask, I don't know anybody, how do I get to know somebody?
That could be tricky, I would say. You're going to have to start going out, talking to people. Maybe just go in to the restaurant during a slow time, not during a meal. You don't want to go during the lunch rush. You don't want to go during the dinner rush, obviously. It'd be fucking stupid. But 2 o'clock, go in, sit down, look at the menu. Maybe if the bartender's slow, ask a couple questions. Get to know them, have a drink, tip them.
But don't be like the guy that goes in and gets wasted.
Don't get drunk. If you're out partying with your friends, who cares? But if you're interested in a job, go in, have 1 or 2 drinks, have maybe something to eat, talk to someone, get their name, just, kind of ease in. And if you don't know anyone in that town, it's going to be a little bit more challenging, but you never know. Honestly, I work at one of the best restaurants in North County, and just the other day some girl came in and got out of a managing position, but she had experience, but you never know. People walk in and there might be a spot that needs to get filled, so
right. So you never
stay
know
active
go.
And go. You're gonna have to go around and go into different places and talk to different people and be social, but don't be too pushy. But
yeah, you don't want to be weird about it.
Yeah.
But you want to let them know,
let them know that you're interested.
Yeah.
But just feel it out.
Yeah, you got to feel it out.
This is an industry where you have to deal with a lot of people, so you're gonna have to be.
You got to work on those people skills. Yeah.
It's 90% of the battle. Everyone can go like this.
Right. Yeah. See, that's the easy part.
The
tough part, or the most important part, is the people part. So I always tell them same thing. One of the best ways to get started is to start in another job, any job.
Yeah.
Busser, dishwasher, food runner, host, bouncer, doesn't matter.
Right.
Anthony actually just moved to a different bar, but one of the other main bartenders that we work with, he started as a bouncer, and then he worked to barback, and now he's like one of the main bartenders. Talking about Ryan.
Yeah, I worked at a comedy club downtown that was high volume. The money was good, but it was really challenging. And we brought a guy in as a dishwasher, had no restaurant experience, and within 2 years he was their head bartender.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty rare, but...
So that's a great example. So why did he move up from, or maybe talk about like how his progression went and why he moved up into that?
A couple reasons. The way, this probably isn't a great example, but the way it was run was the owner was a little bit crazy, and he would fire people at the drop of a hat, but this guy he just worked and was fun and nice and cool. Everyone liked him, and he was willing to help. He would help out all departments. He's like, some people get stuck in this thing where, hey, there's empty glass. We need this table bus. You go fucking do it. I don't care if you're a bartender, bust a table. I don't care if you're not too good to. It's a restaurant work is restaurant work, and people get into these little things like, I'm a server. I'm not going to do that. It's like you should be willing to do anything, besides like cleaning out sludges and.
Yeah, you're not gonna have to like go plunge the toilet, maybe, but hopefully, probably
not. Don't go that low, but don't act.
But if you're willing to, and it's gonna help, then
you might get yourself in a sticky situation if you keep doing that, though, because then they're gonna rely on you to say
like,
that.
Hey, where's your guy? You're on it.
Hey, bagger, get over there.
Yeah. No, but
just there's a lot of places. And what can happen too is that you might be working at a place that this isn't your ideal place that you want to stay at, but if you can get some good bartending experience, learn how to pour, learn your counts, learn recipes, you can take that experience and then go get an upgrade, get a better job, you know? So it's, getting your foot in the door, even if it's not, the busiest or greatest restaurant, it's a good way to get some experience and then set yourself up for a better job.
Right. So like it's, you don't worry about trying. You should shoot for the top, right? Go out when you're first looking, apply to every place that you want to work, including the crazy high-end bars or nightclubs or whatever you think you want to work at. And even if you don't get hired there, still start creating relationships. But don't be picky in where your first job is, because just like Anthony says, you can start somewhere that might not be optimal, stand on it. Now you're working, now you're getting experience, and then continue to look.
And you're meeting people in the industry. So people come into your work, they see you go into their job. Then now you're making contacts in that business, and they go, hey, man, we need someone. I've watched you work hard, you seem cool. We need someone. Can you come over?
So back to the dishwasher guy that got promoted. How did he go from dishwasher to bartender?
A lot of fortunate roles for him. Fortunate breaks for him. Yeah. But also hard work, a great attitude, good work ethic, and just pleasant to be around. Where he was well liked, and he was willing to go the extra mile to help everyone out. And that's the thing about restaurant work is it is a lot of teamwork. And there are people that are not willing to do it, and those are the type of people that you'll work with for 6 months, and then all of a sudden they'll be gone. So if you want longevity in the industry, I would say, help people out. There's going to be times where someone's in the weeds and they need an extra hand, and even if they don't ask, you could be able to recognize it, and that's what he did. He'd see that you're getting smoked, and he'd come up and be like, dude, what do you need? I'm like, this, and this. And he's like, I got you. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, look, I want to work with that guy. I want to, team player. Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
So show your value.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered everything pretty well. Getting started, background, your history, some challenges. Let's hear some shenanigans. Some scandalous stories.
Okay.
Tales from the dark side. Or because I think what we got cut off was maybe the negatives. So let's hit that one. What are some negatives of the job before we get into? We'll get to some fun scandalous stories because I know Anthony's got a couple. Let's do some drawbacks because it's not all rainbows and unicorns, Bart.
Yeah. The restaurant industry can kind of wear on you mentally and physically, especially if you run yourself thin. It's physical work, so be prepared for that. You're going to be tired at the end of your shift. You might be grumpy. You're going to have to put up with a lot of shit. You know what I mean? People are drunk. People are rude. People stiff you. People, you deal with every type of human. So get used to that. And but don't let it affect you. You know, it's at the end of the day, you're gonna make about the same amount of money. It's like if someone stiffs you on a $100 tab, fucking laugh it off.
Let them take bad karma instead of making a big scene out of it.
Because there's gonna be a regular that comes in 10 minutes later, and you're gonna be kind of pissed off. And this fucker left me 0 on 100, and they go, boom, here's $40, and it all equals out in the end. So, you know, I mean, I think the social aspect is probably the hardest thing to wrap your head around. Is you're gonna have bad nights, you're gonna have good nights, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's all part of the business. So
yeah,
you know,
yeah. So you just gotta keep trugging along.
Yeah, it's a grind, but you know, it has. There's some nights where you're like, man, I just got 3 phone numbers and made $300, you know, and like,
and I wasn't really doing a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly. So it's got to, you know, as any job has its highs and its lows, but in the end, I think it's a fun industry.
So highly worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to the good stuff. Let's hear some scandalous stories.
Okay.
What are a couple, 2 or 3 that are just...
I have one story so I was working in Pacific Beach, which is kind of like a party town in San Diego with a lot of college kids and tons of chicks. Oh my God.
Or cute boys if you're...
Yeah, that's true.
Lots of sexy people.
Yeah. So I was probably, you know, I'm 34 now. I was probably like early 20s. I was on a roll. I had a good job. You know, I was meeting a lot of girls, doing well. And down in that area, there's a ton of bars. So like, what happens is they'll do like guest bartending things where you work at one bar, but hey, we're gonna bring you over to another bar and you're gonna bartend there for a night. And they keep, you know, 2 of their staff members on plus you, and the whole objective is you bring in like a whole nother crowd that normally doesn't go to that bar.
Okay, so before we get into that story, because that's a really good thing to talk about, how does that work? How did you find that deal?
It was a friend of mine, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, you know, working that industry, especially in like a town like that where there's a lot of bars. So if you go into any like downtown city, I don't really know much about like, you know, big hubs and downtown areas, but even like party areas where there's a bunch of bars in a small area, it's like all the bartenders know each other. And it's like, you know, you see these people over and over, they come into your restaurant, you go into theirs. And after a while, you just kind of meet these people and, you know, befriend them and whatever. So they're like, hey, we want to, you know, bring you down to a guest bartending.
Just random guest bartending.
They'll do it on, you know, slow nights, Sunday nights, Monday nights, where you can bring in, even if you only bring in 10 people, it's like, that's 10 people that go into a restaurant that normally wouldn't go there. And so you drink and have fun. It's more of like a party kind of, you know what I mean?
So they're looking to ramp up slower shifts, and you're like, yeah, I could maybe
bring in a new clientele that's not regular to their business. So, because every bartender has their following or their friends and whoever they know.
Locals that can follow.
Yeah, exactly. So you go, hey, you know, you usually always come in here and see me, but I'm going to be working at this other bar that's completely different. It'd be fun if you came in there too. So
another reason to just network and be plugged into the establishments in your area that if you know when you start working in a place. Okay, so good side note. But back to the juicy stuff. Okay. So you were going over there for a guest bartending shift.
Yeah, it was like a Monday or Sunday. It was like an off night, you know. And I kind of like, I was excited because this bar kind of went off, and I was like, you know, psyched. And
fun change of pace.
Yeah. And I was, you know, I had my little rotation of girls at the time, and
harem.
Yeah, I invited like a bunch of chicks and a bunch of friends, and I invited like 3 girls that I was and they all lived in different parts of town, so I figured they're not gonna fucking show up. Right. One lived in Oceanside, one lived in Carlsbad, and one lived like in PV. And I'm like, there's no...
Each of those are like a half an hour to 45 minutes in different directions.
Yeah, like it's a mission, you know? Like I'm like, these chicks aren't gonna show up. So I'm working, like, one by one, they keep showing up, sitting at the bar.
3 of them came
like, the first one came in, I'm like, oh, fuck, she showed up. And I'm like, all right, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Working, it was busy, we were having fun. And like 30 minutes later, the other one shows up. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, and they're kind of like, they don't know what's going on yet.
Start sweating a little bit.
Yeah.
Start sweating a little bit. How are you going to work this out?
Right near, like, closing time now, and the third one shows up. And I'm like...
Were the other 2 still there?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh my god, like, so I started joking about it with the other bartender. I'm like, shit, man, I have fucking 3 chicks here right now that I'm been them all, like, pretty regularly. And it comes down to closing time now. People are leaving, and these girls are still sitting at the bar. And now they're like kind of clued into what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing last call, and I have 3 girls sitting at the bar waiting for me. And I'm drunk, and I'm like panicking now. And
See, all 3 of them showed up
and
staring there, starry-eyed, looking at you like. Or did they know that?
I mean, I think they kind of had an idea, but it was more just like, when are you off? Like, cause I told them all like, yeah, let's get, like, I had to, you know, because I've been hanging out with these girls. I can't be like, oh, well, yeah, nice, thanks for coming in, scoot along now. So they're down there. They came from a different town. They are too drunk to drive home. They in their mind, they're coming to my house.
Right.
And there's 3 of them.
Right.
And I fucking panic. And there was this like kind of cute girl that was like working in the kitchen, and I'm like losing it. Like I keep walking out from the bar, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck should I do? And I start talking to her. I'm like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? She's like, you really have 3 chicks sitting at the bar waiting for you? And I'm like, look.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my god, you're. I'm like, there was this window that looked into the kitchen, and I'm like, do me a favor, just make out with me right now. And so I start sucking face with this girl in the kitchen, and all the girls see it, and they all wig out, like, and they all took off, and I ended up in that kitchen chick.
So you ended up hooking up with the kitchen girl,
yeah.
The 4th girl, after you scared off the other 3.
And I never ever talked to any of the other 3 again. They were so fucking mad at me, and I was like, I was enjoying all their company. Separately, I burned 3 bridges in 10 seconds.
Yeah. Epic. Right on. So if any of you girls are watching this by random chance, then you'll know what happened. He really did like you. So, okay. So that's a good one. That's a great one. Any other ones that you want to share?
I don't think I can top that one.
I know you have.
There's so much stuff that goes down in restaurants.
Tell me about the walk-in story.
Well, that's probably not much. I was dating the girl at the time, so it was like, we always had this joke like, hey, you know, let's go on in the walk-in, you know? And it's not as good of an idea. Like, on paper, it's like, if you're on a plane and you're like, hey, let's go in the bathroom, and it's like...
Mile High Club.
Yeah. You know, for restaurant people, it's like the walk-in is kind of like, I always make jokes to my, you know, waitresses. I'm like, hey, let's go in the walk-in, fucking bang.
You want to make out in the
walk-in?
Yeah. It's a great way to get a sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment does not exist in most restaurants, so that's nice to know.
Yeah, and he's being facetious. It means it does, right?
It only if you're the owners. Yeah.
But
it's a lot looser. It's a lot looser.
Nature of the relationships that you have with your coworkers, and that's why I say, you know, that movie Waiting. It's not that great of a movie, but it's so accurate of the way that it is. So anyway, long story short, you and your girlfriend took a little dip in the walk-in.
Yeah, and it was a below average sexual performance.
But you didn't even like, you guys were just kind of...
Yeah, it was just more like...
try it out.
Just sitting a girl on a dirty keg while it's freezing cold. It's not really like conducive to like a good sexual performance. So. I don't recommend it, but... You know, at the time it sounded like a good idea.
And you notched that one off.
Yeah.
It's like joining the Mile High Club. You can call it joining the Deep Freeze Club or something.
The Polar Bear Plunge.
The Polar Bear Plunge. We're starting that name right now, the Polar Bear Plunge. So right on, there's some great information about getting started, networking. Again, as we always talk about, it's not about the drinks, it's about the personal interactions and relationships that you have with people, right? It's who you know. Talk about how to get to know people, go out, kind of just be a face that they recognize. And then once you start working places, networking with other establishments in your area so that you can get opportunities to maybe work there as moonlighting or as another option down the road. And just getting to know people in the industry is helpful for opening doors and opportunities down the road. Right on. So thanks, Ant, for coming down and doing this.
Thank you.
I know I've been trying to get him in here for a while to do this, so I appreciate coming down and talking with everybody.
Yeah.
If you're a new viewer here, think about subscribing so you get notifications anytime I have new videos coming out. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll take care of them, or I can pass them on to Anthony and we can ask them and clarify anything that you might have questions about. If you are a longtime viewer, please think about supporting me over at patreon.com/BartendingPro. And that'll do it for this one. I'm Jason. This has been making you a bartending pro, along with my buddy Anthony. I'll see you on the next episode. Later, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Done.
Sweet.